Welcome to Tokyosaurus. So, what's up in Japan? So Final Fantasy XV is probably one of the biggest releases on the PS4 so far, and people have been freaking out at why it's selling seemingly so little in Japan. Compared to FF13, which sold 1.5 million at Japanese retail stores at launch, FF15 has only managed to sell 700,000 copies at their launch. FF13 is supposed to be the black sheep in the Final Fantasy family too, and it's not like that people are hating this new game either. People are loving it. Reviews are fantastic, people are pouring hours and hours into the game, and many people are already saying it's the best Final Fantasy ever made. Who said that about 13? Nobody. Yeah, I don't think anybody ever said that. So why in the world is Final Fantasy XV selling half of what Final Fantasy XIII sold in Japan? Is Final Fantasy finally dying in Japan? Is this the end of Final Fantasy? The answer is no. The reason why the numbers differ so heavily is the number of people who have a console that can play the game. Currently, there's about 3 million people who have a PS4 in Japan, whereas in 2009 to 2010, when FF13 launched, there was about 6 million people in Japan who had a PS3. That's effectively double the amount of people in the market for a PS3 game. Also, since both Final Fantasy were on the Xbox platform as well, the Xbox 360 platform for Final Fantasy XIII did much better in Japan than its successor, the Xbox One, is doing currently. Like way better. Like when back then there was about 1 million people who had an Xbox 360, whereas if we look at how many Xbox Ones are in Japanese houses right now, we're looking at about 70,000. Yes, that's effectively another 1 million people out of the market for this game. The console market today in Japan is quite a bit smaller than it was in the previous generation, so it's a little unfair to compare straight numbers when it comes to sales of the games. So let's take a look at how many people out of those owners actually bought a copy. That will probably give us a better perspective at how successful the game really was at launch. Out of the current 3.3 million Japanese PS4 users, about 700,000 people bought a copy of Final Fantasy XV, which is about 21%. Out of the 6 million people who had a PS3 at the time of the 13 launch, 1.5 million bought a copy of FF13, which is about 25%. Seeing how these numbers only count retail sales and does not count digital downloads, I think it's safe to assume that the two are pretty close in terms of market success, seeing how people nowadays are more inclined to download games online than it was in the past. Okay, now it's starting to make a bit more sense. It's hard to imagine a loyal fanbase like that of Final Fantasy being cut in half, especially in Japan, where they love everything Final Fantasy. In terms of financial success, I think Square Enix is pretty happy with the results so far, and I think the number will grow substantially after the holidays. So, what did you think of Final Fantasy XV? Did you try it out yet? As usual, let me know in the comments below. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. You can follow Tokyosaurus on Twitter and Facebook for Japanese culture tweets and updates. And for more about the latest things people are talking about in Japan, don't forget to check out our channel and subscribe so you can get your daily fix of Japan right in your inbox. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.